Starting out in Roundhay and in the vicinity of two churches, this one being St Edmunds, this one being the local Methodist, and there's one up the road called St Andrews, which is a congregational. I can only assume that when these were built it was a very religious area, although the population was only a fraction of what it is now. And incidentally, the people who attend churches these days is probably down at the level of when they were built, even though the population is probably quadrupled or more. So anyway, let's begin. Tennis courts. Not the busiest of days, or particularly my cup of tea, but very popular in the summer, even though there's a couple of the dedicated few playing there. Good luck to them. Roundhay Park tennis courts. And this brings us to Canal Gardens, or part of it, which is a very peaceful and relaxing part of Roundhay. It's home to a enormous greenhouse which houses many exotic plants on the other side of the wall there, and a sort of mini zoo with obscure animals, small animals and things the like. So there you go, Canal Gardens. And this is Tropical World within Canal Gardens, I believe. That is the, well, massive greenhouse is the best way of describing it, which houses the exotic flora and small animals. I once told some kids down by the little lake, there's two lakes in Roundhay Park, I once told some little kids who were playing on the edge of the lake to be careful because two crocodiles had escaped from here, and I'm quite sure they believed me, so it didn't take them long to give me a dirty look and disappear from the edge of the lake. Yeah, well, such is life. Not sure what's the next for that. This is all part of the old stables for the, well, I assume it's built by the Nicholson family, who were the Victorian owners of Roundhay Park. This looks disused now, although it could be part of the Council of Parks people. And over here is the back of the pub, the Roundhay Fox pub, which is pub cum restaurant, they're very popular. This is the Roundhay Park mansion, built by the Nicholson family, who owned, well, who owned most of the park really. And that's taking us down to the arena, which was dug out originally to be a lake, but it was the third lake, there's two others, but it was never filled in. But it's hosted some of the biggest rock stars in the world, including Springsteen, the Rolling Stones, Madonna, Simple Minds, U2 and Robbie Williams, who for some reason, I didn't hang around the area for that weekend. I did 2 nights, so I went to the Lake District, but the others I managed to see. So it's a very impressive park. It's one of the biggest in Europe, I believe, and it makes Leeds one of the greenest cities in Britain, and this is just a fraction of it. The overspill from the little lake, quite a drop, and yes, as a kid I did climb up it. I wasn't very smart, was I? This is the smaller of the two lakes, known affectionately as a Little Lake. I can't think why, but that's what it is. It's home to some swans which hatched a few months ago with 7 chicks, and they successfully grew, although one of them was, well, one of them vanished. One of the 7 chicks vanished overnight, so the other 6 survived and are here now looking young and healthy. Look at them all. Look at them all here. 1, 2, 3, I don't know, you count them, 7, 8, I don't know. They're all over the place. Still not fully white yet, but lovely, aren't they? A little success story from the park on the Little Lake. Since Bear Grylls and Ray Mears debuted on TV, these things crop up everywhere. They're like, I don't know, molehills. But this, out of many I've seen, is a very good one. Obviously it's like in the leaf cover, but there's a lot of work gone into it, and I don't know who's done it, but it's a fine example, in my opinion, of a wonderful shelter. And this is my companion Freya. She's my walking buddy, well, one of my walking buddies, a lovely walking buddy. Very inquisitive she is, and very disobedient. And on the other side of the wall here is the golf course, the Roundhay Golf Club, which I think is only a 9 hole, but still a golf club, one of many in the area, one of very many in the area. And another, although I don't think I'd feel happy sleeping under this one. There's one down there which looks a bit better than this one, but there's something about, you know, it's a park in a big city, so I don't think there's ever nobody in it, so I don't think I'd feel comfortable camping in here, put my hammock up here, because well, let's cut the rubbish, just the dodgy potential of dodgy people hanging around late at night. I just wouldn't be able to sleep too easily, knowing, well, I wouldn't feel safe, not in a park in a city, although I have got a spot not far away from here, well, I would feel a bit safer. But we'll come across that a bit later. The woods in that park. Ooh. Hello, we're here we're at the top of the gorge next to the golf club, and here we have what looks like an old-fashioned gate post, I'm guessing it is. Now, what's unique about it is this. There, a cup and ring petroglyph. Now, much as I love bagging these in various locations, this is one of the few in Roundhay Park. Although I'm not suggesting for a minute they're Neolithic, but you never know, in 3,000 years somebody might come along and say, oh, look at this, it's a Neolithic petroglyph. You never know. This is the Gorge. It's got official title as the Gorge, but I can never remember what it is. You know, it's something official and posh. But I do believe the beck, or the stream running through here, is called King George Beck. It's my favourite part of Roundhay Park, without a doubt. It's still wild and rugged and, you know, as it's meant to be. The park had a lot more of a rugged feel about it years ago, but it's been over manicured now, in my opinion, and it's designed to attract families, which is a good thing, but it's still lost its rugged wildness that it had when I was a kid, you know. But this hasn't and it's still a wonderful part of the park. Yeah, the word Beck, don't you just love the word Beck? Its bluntness. Looked at Beck. Yeah, it's a Norse word apparently. Beck or something similar. Short and blunt. Nick, Blick, Beck, Beck. I'm off to Beck to throw our lass in Beck. The Yorkshire puddings were flat, so I chucked it in Beck. Yeah, you what? Oh, never mind. But this is the top of the gorge, and this is old Beck. Lovely, innit? Innit? Lovely. There you go, more of it. It's beautiful. A little oasis on the outskirts of Leeds. If you look, in fact, 100 yards to the left of me is the Ring Road. Probably one of the busiest roads in the city. And it's, like I say, 100 yards to the left of me. But we'll keep that a secret. It's beautiful, isn't it? The gorge. Oh, and she's there again, look. And she always comes with me every time I go out. I'll have to train her to stop chasing sheep at some point. Or the purists will be sending me messages and things. Such is life. We used to come down here as a kid on our bikes. In fact, if I had a bike, I still would. And I think we made a swing in here once. I can't remember. Oh, that was Glenelg Valley Woods, it wasn't in here. But as kids, we'd spend hours and hours and hours riding up and down the park and through here. And in fact, a lot of people still do, and I don't blame them. It's absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. I believe that's the old boundary wall between the estates. One on this side, Roundhay, and one or two on the other side. Back in the good old days, eh? This would have been private land. With gamekeepers and poachers. Guess which one I'd have been. Now then. You're going to say to me, what's this bridge called? I don't know. Arthur. But it's a lovely little bridge, isn't it? It's whoever built it went to a lot of trouble. Well, it's dry at the moment, but I suppose after a rainfall it's quite gushing. Imagine it. Little bridge like this. We put more work into this and effort into this little thing than a lot of, well, it's been suggested in some quarters, should I say. More work and effort went into constructing these than some people, builders, do over new houses. But that's not me saying that. It's other people putting words in my mouth. It's another quaint spot, lovely spot in the gorge. This is Scout's Quarry, a wonderful spot. I read somewhere, whether it's right or not, that the stone to build Roundhay Park Mansion was quarried from here. And the stone, for all the stone walls surrounding the stately homes, there's 2 or 3 around here. You know, there's stone walls up there, you can see them. Stone for those was quarried from here. It sounds feasible, but it's a lovely spot. And if before I reached the ripe old age of 14, I realised I was too cool. He says with cynicism, to be in the Boy Scouts. We actually did come up here with the Boy Scouts and build a fire and roast sausages on it to a stick, and it was jolly good fun when I look back. I should have been uncool and stayed in them, but it's still a popular spot. You get a lot of kids on mountain bikes jumping over and try to kill themselves here, and it's lovely. It's wild. I do wild. And whoops, what have we got here? Another petroglyph. This has got to be Neolithic in a Victorian quarry, but it's lovely, isn't it? It still looks authentic even though it's grown moss. You can't beat a good bit of rock here. It's great. This mound really is interesting because Roundhay was originally called in Saxon times Roundhay, and the settlement is basically behind me, maybe a bit, well, behind me to the left, and it stayed. I read somewhere that it means the encircled settlement on the hill, and this mound is aligned to a ditch further down, which some believe is a man-made Saxon ditch, defensive ditch, and this is part of it. So what other reason would this mound be here for? It stretches further down in the woods. You know, it's man-made, very old, you can see by the age of the trees, and it aligns to a ditch further down, as I said. So I'm one of those that actually believes it to be part of the Saxon settlement of Roundhay, the defensive ditch, the encircled settlement on the hill, the round, rund, hag, I don't know what hag means, but it sounds feasible and it looks feasible. Fascinating. There you go. There you go. The defensive mound, so some believe.